Hello, and welcome back to yet another video. This is the 18th episode of a story in which 10-year-old Naruto meets Minato from future and that turns Naruto's life upside down. As Naruto lives a happy life in which he is trained by Minato and later Kushina too. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To begin, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the party started. Doto was outside his flying fortress accompanied by Chojuro, the hooded man and his ninja's forces, looking at the remains of the battlefield and trying to assume what happened. That creature, it had such power. I'm completely sure that it was the Sanbi. I never imagined that the Namikaze would be one of those demon containers. I thought that they were a legend spreaded by the major villages to scare common people, but it is obvious that they are real. I hope that my brother's secret weapon would be stronger than a Baiju if I want to conquer the elemental nations if other villages have their own Jinka or Ikis, thought Doto. The Mist Ninjas were concerned by other matters. What happened with Mei-san and the other? Are they alright? Asked a very worried Chojuro. Stop worrying as a little girl, Chojuro. They are alright, in fact they are heading towards here, said Ao. Just after Ao spoke, a gargantuan figure emerged from the cold waters. Its three massive tails just asseverated the identity of the creature. The Sanbi was back. Doto and his ninjas got immediately in combat position, fearing that the creature would attack them at any moment. Some of them began to flee. The Mist Ninjas appeared to be unaffected, at least Ao was. Chojuro was trying his best to not look scared, reminding himself constantly that he was one of the swordsmen of the mist, and Utakata was using all his will to keep his Baiju in check, convincing it to not release itself. The hooded figure looked more fascinated than scared by the creature. Nobody guessed what was happening inside his mind. Ao noticed that the Sanbi had his tails wrapped around themselves, like they were protecting something. The Sanbi unwrapped the tails, revealing Reika, and a very pissed off Mei. The Sanbi then opened his jaws and expelled a human form. It was Haku. The boy was unconscious. Then, the creatures began to diminish and his form changed into a more human one until before them there stood a man who looked younger than he really was, the Namikaze. I had the situation perfectly controlled. You didn't have to intervene. We could have captured Haku without your intervention. And why you tried to capture the blonde boy and that girl? Asked Mei. The Namikaze looked at her slightly annoyed. Although I'm completely sure that you would have captured Haku by yourself, it was taking you too long. The girl was a non-sealed Hyuga, and I think that the blonde boy was the son of both that Black Angel and Crimson Death who became so famous recently and work now with Zabuzai in the same squad, said Yagura. I see, you wanted to use them as bargaining chip with Konoha to make them handle Zabuzai back to us, don't you, Mizukage-sama? Said Utakata. The Cage nodded. Yes. They will be very valuable prisoners. Ao, Reika, and Chojuro, you will seek and capture them. I'll give you the coordinates where I saw them last time. Luckily they wouldn't go so far because the storm. You are in charge, Ao, ordered the Namikaze. The Mist Ninjas nodded, and after receiving the coordinates they left the place. Meanwhile, Mei was tending Haku, helped by Utakata. How is it possible? He is completely soaked wet and unconscious, but he is not showing any signs of freezing. Can he use the protection technique at a subconscious level? Asked Utakata, surprised. Mei denied it with her head. No, it is more simple than that. His bloodline makes him immune to cold in a similar way I'm immune to the elements I can create with my own powers. He just has a slight chakra exhaustion case, pointed Mei. The Namikaze looked at Doto. Would you mind to lend us some of your prisoner cells at your castle, Doto-san? We need a place to keep him and any other we could capture later, asked Yagura. In normal circumstances Doto would have said no, but after witnessing what the Namikaze's power, he took the wise decision to behave humbly in the presence of the Cage. Of course, Namikaze-san. I'll even lend you some of my chakra drainer devices so the prisoner won't use his powers to escape, said Doto. I almost forgot about those devices. Perhaps my scientist could create one able to drain the Namikaze's chakra. And with some modifications I could force him to do my biting, thought Doto with a slight smile. A pair of snow ninjas appeared besides Doto, carrying a person who was strolling to get free. Doto's smile got wider when he recognized said person, Koyuki. Well. It looks like Princess Yuki finally decided to visit this country after all these years, said in a mocking tone. Watch your tongue while talking with the legitimate queen of this country, you usurper, exclaimed Koyuki. What is she talking about? Asked one of the snow ninjas. You don't know it? My real name is Koyuki Kazana. Doto's niece and daughter of the former king, the heiress to the throne until this fratricidal traitor killed my father and forced me into exile, said Koyuki. The snow ninjas began to whisper among themselves. The princess is alive? Wasn't she supposed to be killed by the rebels years ago alongside her father? Shut up you bitch, exclaimed Dota, slapping Koyuki, knocking her. At the time the princess hit the ground, a poof of smoke appeared, revealing that the princess in reality was Sakura under a hedge. Look at her. She is in reality one of Konoha's ninjas trying to confuse us, exclaimed Doto. Perhaps I'm not the real Koyuki, but what I said about her is true. She is the legitimate ruler of this country. Dota lied to you all, said Sakura while getting up. How did you manage to trick us with a mere hedge? Asked one of the snow ninjas who brought her. Probably she used a genjutsu to make you believe that she was bigger and heavier than she was in reality. I saw her using them during the fights, said Utakata. Yes, I did. Now the princess is safe and away from your dirty hands, said Sakura proudly while she did her best to don't show any fear. Shut up, exclaimed Dota, hitting her again, this time rendering Sakura unconscious. He looked at the snow ninjas. I already told you, that bullshit about my niece being alive is just propaganda made by the rebels in order to spread dissension among us. It is obvious that the rebels managed to trick Konoha that the actress is the princess. Or even worse, they are aware of the fake princess and they are collaborating willingly with them. In times like this we have to be united against our enemies or we will fall before them, said Doto. Many snow ninjas nodded while those who still have their doubts pretended to agree too. Mei looked disgusted at Doto. By the way he was behaving and he reacted, it was obvious that he was lying, confirming her that the actress was in fact his niece. You could have fooled them, Doto, but not me. You can't survive in Mist if you don't learn to distinguish liars from those who said the truth. I'm sure that the Mizukage also realized it, but I can't guess what he will do about it, she thought. Meanwhile, at the road between Konoha and Sea Country, the team formed by Kushina, Anko, Shino, Neji and Tenten was returning back to Konoha accompanied by Isaribi and carrying various items from Amachi's lab after a successful mission. The battle against Orochimaru's accomplice didn't last very long. The evil scientist was now sealed in one of Kushina's scrolls alongside the items and research notes that they got from the lab. Are you sure that Tsunade-sama will be able to cure me? Asked Isaribi with hope on her eyes. I'm completely sure that she will, but even if she couldn't turn you back like you to normal, I guarantee you that she will be able to eliminate those scales that you have in your human form, so in the worst case scenario you will be able to have a normal life in Konoha without having to wear those bandages, said Kushina. It would be better if first you just let Tsunade-sama remove the scales and stay some days in Konoha before you decide to ask her about removing your powers. Don't be strange if suddenly people begin to ask you for dates or even asking your hand in marriage, teased Anko. I still can't believe that part. Are ninja villages so different from normal ones that they would see my condition as a blessing? Asked Isaribi in disbelief. You can bet it. Just look at the boys. Shino comes from the Aburame clan, a family of living hives. They have FCKing bugs living in their body. And Neji is a Hyuga, who are a group of white-eyed freaks who can see through anything. If they are accepted in Konoha, make sure that a cute girl who can turn into a fish won't have any problem, said Anko. Tenten and Kushina giggled at Anko's remark while the boys pretended that they didn't hear anything. Smart males knew that it was better to don't discuss with women when they doubled you, especially if two of them happened to be their superiors. With Konoha's team, Hayate was pondering his options. If the presence of the mist ninjas was bad enough, it was nothing compared to the sudden appearance of one of the Baijuo. He saw how the creature grabbed the mist ninjas, captured Haku and then began to chase Naruto and Hinata. Unfortunately nor Kurenai nor him couldn't do anything to help them. Taking advantage of the confusion created by the creature, a group of snow ninjas assaulted the boat in order to capture Koyuki. Some of them managed to infiltrate Koyuki's cabin, where Sakura was tending a wounded Sasuke while keeping an eye on the princess. Sasuke got hurt while protecting Sakura from various ice pieces that flew towards her when the Sanbi appeared. The Jonin saw the snow ninjas dragging Koyuki away from the ship. Kurayani, Lee and him tried to stop them, but the rest of snow ninjas began to attack with fanatical devotion. At the end they defeated the snow ninjas who attacked them, but those who had Koyuki escaped. The poor Sandayu began to freak out about the princess being captured when everyone looked dumbfounded at Koyuki getting out from her cabin dragging an unconscious Sasuke. She explained that when they realized that the snow infiltrated the ship, Sakura told something to Sasuke and used a drug to make him sleep. Then she used a henge to look like Koyuki and told the real one to hide in the locker with Sasuke. Kurenai didn't know if she should be proud for her student's courage or mad at her for doing something so recklessly. It was something that she would have expected from someone who acted before thinking like Naruto, Kiba or Lee, but not from Sakura. It looks like all those genins from the actual generation have a tendency to do heroic things. Or perhaps Sakura was just being a very devout leaf nin, protecting her comrades and the client without neglecting any of them. If she survives, she will become one of the greatest kunoikis Konoha ever produced, thought Kurenai. Meanwhile, Lee was vowing things to rescue the Sakura and finding his teammates, that the treachery of the snow ninjas will melt before his flames of youth. Sasuke, now conscious and with various bandages around his body, was cursing his bad luck while he reminded the last moments with Sakura. Flashback: Sakura was tending the wounds that Sasuke got while protecting her from the ice pieces. Sasuke-kun, why did you did it? She asked. My body moved by my own. Besides, you are the medic nin, I wouldn't be able to heal you if you received the hits, responded Sasuke. Sakura was about to say something when they heard unknown voices coming from outside. They got inside, whispered Koyuki. Sakura, forget about the wounds and prepare to fight, said Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, you can't be serious, you are not in condition to fight, protested Sakura. Then what do you suggest to do? Asked Sasuke. Sakura stood there thinking for a few seconds. I will henge into Koyuki-san and trick them to take me while you hide with Koyuki-san in the locker, she said. What? Are you serious? You won't trick them with that tactic for a long time. I'll fight them, said Sasuke, trying to get up. Then he felt pain on his neck and noticed the syringe on Sakura's hands. Sakura. Why? He asked while struggling to keep conscious. Sasuke-kun, I can't let you get hurt from me, and we can't handle Koyuki-san to them. If I don't get out alive from this, I just want to tell you that I love you, said Sakura with a small smile. Sakura, babbled Sasuke before darkness took him. And flashback: the last Uchiha was plagued by a feeling of loss he didn't feel since the massacre of his clan. Damn it, Sakura. How did you manage to affect me like this? You have to survive, he thought. Hayate's thoughts were not optimistic neither. We have to prepare a rescue mission. We'll have to ask reinforcements from Konoha. There's no way that Kurenai, Lee, a wounded Sasuke, and me would be able to rescue our comrades. The problem is that I don't know how Yondai Misama will react when he hears about this. The viciousness he displays when it concerns his son's well-being is not something I would want to face, thought Hayate, reminding the way he treated those who didn't show Naruto the proper respect when he returned to Konoha. The Jonin reminded when some civilians and ninjas hired several missing nins, Zabuza and Haku among them, and tried to get rid of them. The ninjas still whispered with fear. Perhaps I should try to fight the Sanbi by myself, it would be less dangerous than facing him, thought Hayate. Where's Naruto? Asked a familiar voice, the one he was likely to hear. Before Hayate stood Arashi Uzumaki, holding the three-pronged kunai that Naruto lost while escaping from the Sanbi. Arashi-sama, babbled Hayate. Forget the Sama treatment. What happened here? And where's my son? Asked Arashi. Hayate sighed and prepared himself to deliver the bad news. Arashi-san, we had to deal by some unexpected newcomers. The first thing that Hinata saw when she woke up were Naruto's blue eyes staring at her and his smile. Morning, Hinata-chan. Did you have a good sleep? He asked. I had a very good sleep, Naruto-kun, she responded. The best one on my life. Now I understand better why couples want to sleep together, she thought. Finally she realized that Naruto has been looking at her while she slept and blushed. Anyo. Naruto-kun. How much time have you been awake? She asked while touching the tips of her fingers. Oh, that? I woke up just 10 minutes ago. I didn't wake you up because you looked very peaceful and... well. You looked very beautiful, he said, putting his hand behind his head. Those words made her blush even more. A peculiar aroma caught her attention. She saw that there was a clone preparing some food while another was repairing the bracers and a third one sewing Naruto's cloak, noticing that the clone was doing it surprisingly well. I didn't know that you were so good at sewing, commented Hinata. I had to take charge of my clothing's repairment since the village decided that I was able to take care by myself. My first tries were less successful, he said. She reminded the first year at the academy when Naruto often came to class with his clothes repaired in very peculiar ways until one day it stopped. Once Naruto-kun learns to do something by practice, he becomes very good at it quickly. I wonder if he will be as good with kisses. Wait. What I'm thinking about, thought with a blush. Breakfast is ready, said the other clone. Come on Hinata-chan, let's have it, we are going to need it after all the chakra we spent yesterday, commented getting out from the futon. Hinata followed him, but then she noticed the clone staring at her and realized that still she was only dressed with the sports bra and the shorts. Eek! Please don't look, exclaimed Hinata while she covered herself. Hey Bakaz. Don't look at my girlfriend, perverts, exclaimed an angry Naruto while he dispelled them. We are extensions of yourself, you're the pervert, protested one of the clones before being dispelled. Now I am Naruto's girlfriend, thought Hinata smiling. Here. I'm very sorry Hinata-chan. You know how are these clones, they tend to do what they want, said Naruto very embarrassed while she handed Hinata her now dry clothes and looking other way so she could dress. It's alright, Naruto-kun. I don't mind you being attracted to me. In fact couples are supposed to feel that way, said Hinata while she put her clothes. Naruto let a sigh of relief while he dressed himself too. I suppose that there is nothing bad to have these thoughts about a person as long as she is the loved one and she agrees with them. For a moment I thought that I was going to end like those perverts who were caught, he thought. What do we have for breakfast? Asked Hinata. Some cinnamon rolls and ramen campaign rations, all them recently heaten, said Naruto. Thank you, Naruto-kun. I loved you, exclaimed Hinata while she kissed Naruto on the cheek making him blush. He. It's good to see that I also can make him blush, thought Hinata smiling. The couple enjoyed the breakfast while they talked about inconsequential things and exchanged privy looks. Suddenly Naruto got up. Hinata, get ready, the enemy is coming. One of the clones I left outside has dispelled himself to warn us while the other is distracting them, he said. Who are them? Asked Hinata. Two of them are the swordsmen we met earlier and the other one is a guy with an eye patch and some seals as earrings, commented Naruto. It will be better if we get out, if they find us in this cave we won't have any chance to escape, said Hinata. Naruto nodded and removed the snow he put at the entrance. Well, what do we have here? Said a voice over them. They turned to see Raiga and Reika. Just at that time Naruto felt memories coming from the remaining clone, who was dispelled by the man with the eye patch. What? Why do I feel like I received a Juken attack? The gentle fist was supposed to be a exclusivity from the Hyuga clan, thought Naruto. Hinata activated her Byakugan and was shocked when he saw that man's chakra system. This man has a Byakugan eye. With the others. Sasuke-ni-san, how do you feel? Asked Pichi. I'm trying to assume what happened. First we are attacked by some of the swordsmen of the mist and a woman who has two bloodlines. Then we are attacked by the Sanbi, next some snow ninjas managed to capture Sakura without I could do anything to prevent it. Naruto's father appears from nowhere and after a talk with Kurenai-sensei and Hayate-sensei he disappears as quickly as he came, said Sasuke. It was rare to see the Uchiha talking like that with anybody. Pichi as Sasuke's favorite summon was one of the few who managed it. I'm very sorry for not being there to help you, Nisan, said Pichi. I told you to help the civilians, you don't have anything to regret. As soon as I feel better I'm going to rescue Sakura, said Sasuke. It's a stroke of bad luck that all the medic nins who came with us are missing. I mean, we had 3 medic nins at the beginning of the trip and now we don't have any of them to help you with your wounds, said the kitten. Sasuke was about to respond when a yellow flash almost blinded them. Before the Konoha ninjas appeared Arashi Uzumaki, Kushina Uzumaki, Kakashi Hitake, Hiyashi Hyuga, Zabuzama Mochi, Asuma Sarutobi, Shizune and surprisingly, Neji and Tenten. Why are you two here? Asked Hiyashi. We grabbed you just before Arashi-san teleported all the group, said Tenten. I already figured that. What I'm trying to ask is why are you here? This is a high-ranking rescue mission, something beyond your capabilities, said Hiyashi. We know. But it is my duty to protect Hinata-sama. I can't avoid my duty just because the enemy is too strong, said Neji. Also, those mist ninjas captured our teammate Haku. We can't let him, we were taught that those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash, added Tenten. The Jonin's words got several nods of approval from the older ninjas, especially from Kakashi. Kushina didn't hide a smile of pride for her students. Fine, you can stay, I used a lot of chakra with the teleportations and I won't waste more bringing you back. Besides, we need somebody to take care of the princess and the movie staff, said Arashi. The two Genins nodded. Shizune headed towards Sasuke and began to heal him. Don't move, Sasuke-san, your wounds will be healed in a few minutes, she said. Thank you, Shizune-san. There's something that bothers me. Why Asuma-sensei is here instead of the Makuten Anbu? I know that the Anbu bear decided to reveal himself as Hiyashi-san. The Makuten ninja is the only member of the Hand of Death who is not here, asked Sasuke. It has a simple explanation. Yamato-san just managed to master a technique that lets him induce crops and all kind of plants to grow at an insane rate, from seeds to sprigs and to flowers to fruits in a few seconds. The Fire Lord got enthusiastic with the technique and made him blossom the sakura flowers of the cherry trees at his garden. Yamato-san got a slight case of chakra exhaustion and Asuma-san is here to substitute him because he is one of the Konoha ninjas better prepared to face the swordsman of the mist, said Shizune. Sakura, thought Sasuke at the mention of the flowers. Sakura got her name. He decided to center his thoughts in other matters, like the technique that Naruto's father used to bring so many people to Snow Country in an instant. I'm practically sure that it is one of the space-time techniques from the Yondaime that Kasan told me about. Kakashi also told me that Arashi is one of the few ninjas alive who can defeat Itachi, but he didn't tell me why. How strong he is in reality, thought Sasuke. Meanwhile, Hayate and Kurenai were giving to the newcomers a more detailed report of what happened. When they ended, murderous killing intent from several sources filled the area, making the Ganons and the movie staff to freak out. If any of those blood limit haters dares to touch my daughter, I swear that I'll make them puke their innards. Damn you, Yagura. You went after Haku because you couldn't get me. You won't get out alive from this country, Naruto. For years I couldn't do anything to help you when the enemy threatened you. But now things are different. They will know why I'm called the Crimson Death and not to mess with my family. Kushina's anger was the most noticeable, with the bangs of hair moving like they were angry snakes or the tails of Baijuo. She looked terrible but at the same time beautiful, like a furious goddess. The director of the film was more fascinated than scared. She is the Crimson Death, that princess who became a ninja and was in a kind of sleep for years without aging anything. I must convince her to make a cameo in the movie and perhaps film some scenes. She will look great. I'll make the same offer to the ninjas who came with her. Sandayu is talking with them. I wonder what they are talking about. Perhaps he had the same idea as me, thought. Koyuki was also wondering what they were talking about. Perhaps Sandayu is asking them to take us away from this place, but knowing him, this is a very naive thought for my part, thought Koyuki. Her fears were confirmed when Sandayu and the ninjas headed to her and made a salute with a head bow. Koyuki Haim, we are the Hand of Death, a special squad from Konoha, and we came here to save the Konoha ninjas who were captured by the enemy. After talking with your assistant Sandayu-san, we decided to help the rebel army in order to achieve our goals and yours, said the masked man who seemed to be the leader. What do you mean with that? Asked Koyuki. Simply. We are going to conquer Snow Country. They turned to see Raiga and Reika. Just at that time Naruto felt memories coming from the remaining clone, who was dispelled by the man with the eye patch. What? Why do I feel like I received a Juken attack? The gentle fist was supposed to be a exclusivity from the Hyuga clan, thought Naruto. Hinata activated her Byakugan and was shocked when she saw that man's chakra system. This man has a Byakugan How did you get that Byakugan? Asked Hinata in a surprisingly imposing tone. I got it after an encounter with someone from your clan, girl. Now it's my turn to ask a question. Will you both come with us freely, or will we be forced to subdue you and take you with us anyway? Sadao. Naruto noticed that Hinata was doing her best to control herself and not jump at the man with the eye patch. Her clan was divided in order to protect their blood limit from thieves like him. She must be furious. I'll better distract the enemy while I think of a plan, thought Naruto. Why did you attack us? There are not declared hostilities between Konoha and Kiri, but you interfered in a Konoha mission to protect the rightful ruler of this country and kidnapped our comrade Haku, said Naruto. Konoha started the hostilities when you gave asylum to Zabuza. We were in our perfect right to arrest Haku with the charges of being Zabuza's accomplice and pretending to be a Kiri hunter nin, said Raiga, and about our interference with your mission. According to our data, the ruler of this country is Dotu, our new ally. He says that the person that you were protecting is an imposter, that his niece died years ago in an unfortunate incident, said Ao. That's not true. Koyuki is the rightful ruler of Snow Country. She is not an imposter, protested Hinata. If she is the true ruler of this country, we will find out soon. Just after we left to go after you, we spotted some snow ninjas carrying that Koyuki woman to Dotu's side, said Reika. What? Koyuki has been captured by the enemy? We must rescue her before Dotu gets what he wants from her. The key of her father's device that she has is fake. Kurenai-sensei has the real one. If Dotu finds out, he could kill her out of rage, but first we had to escape from these guys, whispered Naruto to Hinata. How are we going to do it? They are Jonins and 2 of them are swordsmen of the mist, whispered Hinata. I think that I have a plan, responded Naruto. The mist ninjas looked strange how the Konoha Jonins were whispering among themselves, ignoring them. Hello. We are here. Stop making plans, you don't have any chance to escape from us, exclaimed Reika. We know it. We were just commenting how unfair it was that we had to face you 3. If we just faced one of you we surely would win and escape, protested Naruto. Ha, ha, ha. You are very funny, it will be a pity if we had to kill you. I'd cry at your funeral if it was the case, commented Raiga. There's no point to discuss with them, Naruto. Their leader knew that we could defeat them one by one and for that reason he sent them together, commented Hinata. Yeah, you are right Hinata. At least we have the consolation that Mist's reputation will be put in question when people finds out that they needed 3 of their jonins to subdue a pair of Konoha jonins that were at the academy less than a year ago, commented Naruto. What? Nobody doubts about my skill, protested Raiga. Ow. Let me handle these brats myself. I'll show them the difference between us. And what if they manage to hurt you? They managed to escape from the Mizukage in Sanbi form, they are not ordinary jonins, pointed out. Don't intervene under any circumstance. If you do it you will ruin Mist's reputation. This is my fight, exclaimed Reika while he unsheathed a strange blade. Perfect. He bit the bait. Uro-sennin was right, arrogance is a very common weakness in strong people that must be exploited in battle, thought Naruto smiling. The young Jinchuriki's smile didn't last very long. At a blinding speed, Reika almost cut them in half. Only the reflexes acquired with the special training with their parents' squad prevented Naruto and Hinata to be cut in half at the same time. Not bad. It seems that Mist is not the only village able to produce half-competent jonins, commented Reika. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, exclaimed Naruto producing dozens of clones. Clones Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu, exclaimed Reika. The Konohanians looked with their mouths open how the surrounding snow turned into clones of Reika. Don't be so surprised. Snow is just water in solid state, it is surprisingly easy to use it to create water clones, said Reika with a smile. Oh yeah? I don't care, your clones are no rival for mine. Everyone, charge, exclaimed Naruto. Raigandao observed the charge and the following battle with a smirk. However those smirks disappeared when they realized something, the Konoha boy didn't brag about when he told that his clones were better. Naruto's clones were Kage Bunshins, blessed with the same physical capabilities of their creator and able to use all his skills and jutsus as long they had chakra. Their main difference with the creator was that they only lasted one hit. Reika's clones were Mizu Bunshins, they were the elemental clones with a less chakra cost. As long as he had enough water, an average ninja with decent chakra reserves and control could create hundreds of them. But they also had 2 disadvantages, first, like Kage Bunshins, they only lasted one hit, and second, they only had 1/10 of the user's strength. It wouldn't be a problem if Reika was fighting some civilian thugs, but his actual opponents were not the case. Although it was obvious that Reika was stronger than Naruto and Hinata, he was not more than 10 times stronger than them. The real Reika looked annoyed how a Naruto clone blocked one of his clone's sword strikes with only a hand holding a kunai and destroyed him using the other. Hinata, flanked by several Naruto's clones, caused a massacre, moving among Reika's clones like they were clumsy and dull. Fuuten, Rinkudan, exclaimed Naruto turning several Reika clones into water. Part of that water splattered him. Geez. This water is really cold. I forgot that it was just ice some moments ago. It gave me an idea, thought Naruto. Damn it. I didn't know that Kage Bunshins were better than Mizu Bunshins. When I capture the brat I'll convince him to teach me the jutsu in exchange of a better treatment as prisoner, thought Reika while he destroyed one of Naruto's clones. But first I'm going to destroy the rest of these pests, he thought while he performed some hand signs. Naruto, watch out, exclaimed Hinata recognizing the hand sign sequence. Kaden, Gokaku no Jutsu, exclaimed Reika producing a great fireball that headed towards Naruto, Hinata and the clones. Said clones reacted immediately protecting their original and Hinata from the fireball putting themselves between them getting destroyed in the process. You can perform Kaden jutsus, exclaimed Naruto. Surprised? Just because we are from the Mist Village it doesn't mean that everyone is limited to Suten jutsus, as a wind user from Fire Country you should be aware of that, said Reika with a smirk. True, said Naruto getting up, but I'm not just a wind user. What do you mean? Are you telling me that you can use another element? Asked Reika. Yes, since last week. Thanks to the training that I did with Mom and Hinata, thought Naruto. Hinata now, exclaimed Naruto. The Mist ninjas looked surprised how the Konoha ninjas performed a sequence of hand signs that they were very familiar with. Mizu Bunshin, exclaimed the Genins. I looked impressed how many clones the young ninjas managed to create. The Hyuga girl created a very good quantity of them. It was obvious that her chakra levels were higher than the medium for a ninja of her age and the control she had for that chakra was exceptional. but it paled compared with the quantity that the boy created. Reika was surrounded by literally hundreds of clones. He used such quantity of snow that now one could see the soil that was exposed in decades. How is it possible? The chakra reserves of this boy are practically cage level. More than any of the swordsmen of the mist except Kisame. Even the Mizukage didn't have such chakra when he was at the boy's age, thought Tao. Wow, I didn't imagine that I could create so many water clones. With the chakra required to create a single cage Bunshine I can create several water ones, thought Naruto. Ha! Really, you think that you can defeat me using my own weapons? Mizu Bunshine, exclaimed Reika, creating several water clones. The following round that time favored the Mist Nin. The water clones created by Naruto and Hinata were defeated easily by Reika and his clones. The Mist Ninja cutted the Konoha clones like they were nothing, turning them back to water. Ha, 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 ha. Do you see it? That's the difference between us, exclaimed Reika. The extermination of Naruto and Hinata's took only some minutes. Naruto responded, creating more dozens clones that Reika and his own clones began to destroy immediately. I see. The boy wants to tire Reika, overwhelming him with waves of clones. If it was another Jonin it would be a pointless tactic, but with his chakra reserves this boy could accomplish it, commented Raiga. Al didn't say anything, the plan seemed too obvious for him. What's the point of making so many water clones and send them so recklessly against somebody like Reika? Thought Al. The Byakugan user looked how one of the clones practically threw himself towards the swordsman, who cut him, getting wet in the process. That's it. Reika. Stop destroying the clones, it is what they want, exclaimed Ao. Shut up. I told you to not help me, it includes advising during the fight, protested Reika while he destroyed another clone. That arrogant bastard. He doesn't realize that their true plan is to use the clones to wet him with the water the clones are made of. This water was snow just moments ago, it is at the verge of freezing. That idiot will turn into an ice cube before he realizes it, said Ao. Some minutes later, the Genin's plan came into fruition and Reika was completely soaked and trembling, at the verge of hypothermia. D-damn why you, brats, babbled Reika. Then he realized that in his current state his movement capacity was seriously damaged. I deserve this for not taking them seriously and thinking that I was fighting a pair of kids. Ninjas are ninjas, no matter the rank or the age difference. I'll have to use that, he thought. Naruto and Hinata watched with caution how Reika handled his strange sword like he was preparing to strike with it. He is focusing chakra into the sword's blade, said Hinata. What is he trying to do? Does he can use it as a ranged weapon? Asked Naruto. The answer came when, with a swing, the blade of Reika's sword divided itself into several big shurikens the size of a saucer that headed towards Naruto and Hinata. The remaining Mizu Bunshines got between their creators and the shurikens but were destroyed when the projectiles passed through them without losing speed. Naruto and Hinata managed to dodge the shurikens, but to their surprise the shurikens changed their direction and headed back to them. Reika laughed when he saw the expressions on their faces. You can't escape from my special shurikens. They track chakra sources, your own chakra to be more precise. As long as you have chakra they won't stop until they hit you, exclaimed the swordsman. Naruto mumbled a curse. Censored, that bastard turned my main advantage against me, thought while he dodged a shuriken that ripped one of his sleeves. At least the shurikens won't go after Hinata-chan as long as I'm near her because they will turn towards me. I just have to take care that she is not between me and the projectiles. Wait, that's it. After making sure that all shurikens were after him, Naruto ran towards Reika. With a quick movement, he made sure that the Mist Nin was between him and the projectiles. In normal circumstances Reika would have dodged or deflected the projectiles, but in his current state his movement was very limited. In normal circumstances the shurikens would have embedded themselves into Reika's body, but to Naruto's surprise they were repelled when they were about to touch the Mist Ninja and charged towards the surprised Naruto, who barely dodged them, getting several cuts in the process. Hinata looked horrified how Naruto's blood tinged the snow, although the way that Naruto moved suggested that his wounds were not very deep. Baka. Really, you thought that you could turn my own weapons against me? You read too many mangas. These shurikens are charged with my own chakra. The chakra of my body repels them while other chakras have the opposite effect. It is similar to the positive and negative sides of the lodestone, explained a grinning Reika. I have to acknowledge that they did a good job, but nobody escaped from Reika's technique. It's just a matter of time until they are tired and succumb to the shurikens, commented Ao. What is the boy doing? He is running towards here. He wants to use the shurikens against us, pointed Raiga. Don't worry, the boy still has more chakra than any of us. Just make sure to not be between him and the shurikens. said Ao with the Byakugan activated, convinced that the plan was going to fail. However, when Naruto arrived there he performed a single hand sign that changed the circumstances. Taiju Ukage Bunshin no Jutsu, exclaimed Naruto. The dozens of Naruto's clones appeared and, surprisingly, the shurikens ignored them heading towards the mist ninjas. Damn him. That jutsu divided his chakra. Now Raiga and I are the biggest chakra sources, realized Ao while he activated the seals on his ears in order to protect his Byakugan. Reika looked dumbfounded how Raiga and Ao did their best to block/dodge the shuriken, but it was a very difficult feat considering that Naruto's clones were doing all they could to hinder them, like pushing them, grabbing them by the ankles and things like that. Stop looking like an idiot and do something, exclaimed Ao. Kai, exclaimed Reika with a hand sign making the shurikens fell to the ground. Before Reika could say anything, Hinata and the real Naruto were before him, very close to each other. Rasen no Mai, exclaimed with one voice. To hell with Reika's pride and the swordsman honor. I'm going to intervene, thought Ao, only to find out that the clones were not going to let them get near Reika. While they were dealing with the Naruto clones, Ao and Raiga saw how the Konoha Genins performed a combined attack that resembled more a dance than a taijutsu move. If Ao didn't have his Byakugan sealed, he could have seen how the Hyuga girl guided the boy's hands with accurate precision towards Reika's Tenketsus, destroying them. Seconds later Reika, swordsman of the mist, fell to ground, defeated. But that victory didn't come without any cost for the Konoha ninjas. I used too much chakra. I'm sorry Naruto. I can't keep fighting, said Hinata, falling. Hinata, screamed Naruto. Meanwhile Ao and Raiga disposed of the remaining clones. Raiten, Ikazuchi no Utage, Thunder Funeral, Feast of Lightning, exclaimed Raiga using his twin swords to create several thunderbolts that destroyed the clones. NGGG. So many clones destroyed at the same time. The feedback is too much, babbled while losing consciousness. I can't move. What did they do to me? Asked Reika. I think that they just closed your Tenketsus, you'll have to wait until they reopen again. Raiga, you will take Reika, I'll handle the brats, said Ao while he grabbed the unconscious Genins. You don't know how much people will laugh at your funeral when word spreads about you losing against a pair of brats, commented Raiga with a sly smile while he grabbed Reika's body. Hey! It was not a defeat. They are unconscious while I'm not. This is a tie, protested Reika. If I didn't make the blood brat to faint when I destroyed his clones, he would have had you at his mercy. Admit it, pointed Raiga. No, I won't. The mist ninjas left the place. The sounds of Reika and Raiga's discussion dissipated while they get farther. When the sound dissipated completely, a pair of figures emerged from the snow. It worked, Naruto. They didn't notice that we switched ourselves with a pair of your Bunshines while they were destroying those who were distracting them, commented Hinata. Yes, I can't believe that we managed to fool them. If it was not for the training that we were getting lately, especially the one with the hand of death, I doubt that we would have figured out a plan or had the skill to carry it out, commented Naruto with a pensive look. You were right about the seals that man had on his ears. If they didn't seal his Byakugan, he could have found out that his prisoners have the same chakra pathways, said Hinata, smiling. Yeah, luckily you will be far away when he finds out, said Naruto. Hinata realized that something was bothering her boyfriend. Naruto-kun. What do you mean with that? What's going on? She asked. Naruto looked at her for a few seconds. Hinata-chan. I'm not Naruto. The real Naruto let them capture him, he said. What? Hinata. I'm the Bunshine. The Hyuga girl paled at the revelation. But why he would do that? She asked in the verge of tears. Hinata-chan. You heard what they said. They not only captured Haku but also Koyuki. They will kill Koyuki when they find out that she doesn't have the key to her father's device, and we can't let it happen. It is our mission to protect her and save this country. Haku is the closest thing that I have to a cousin, and he is one of the few who knows what is to be hated just for being different. I can't let they down, said the clone. But why Naruto would let them capture him? Asked Hinata. It is the best way to find and get into their base. Don't worry Hinata-chan, I will. I mean the real Naruto will find a way to escape from them and free Haku and Koyuki while you try to find the rest of our teammates and call for reinforcements. Don't worry, the real Naruto is full of resources, assured the clone. But why he didn't include me into his plan and let me go with him? Asked Hinata, a bit furious. Hinata-chan. They are from Mist and one of them has a stolen Byakugan. I can't. I mean the real Naruto can imagine what they would do to you. With his blood limit he can recover from everything they would try to do to him. But the real reason is that he just loves you too much to risk your life in that task, said the clone. Hinata realized that the clone was right. The mission and the comrades came first, and Naruto infiltrating alone was the best choice. But it didn't mean that she liked it. Tears formed on her eyes and she began to cry on frustration. A strong pair of arms embraced her and she felt that warm feeling that filled her whenever Naruto was around. The clone was part of Naruto after all, and its feelings were the same as the original. She wept on his shoulder for a few minutes. After she calmed down, he looked at her at the eyes and put something around her neck. She recognized the Shodai Hokage's necklace. "And Naruto-kun. This is..." "Yes, it is the necklace that my dad brought from the future. I couldn't take risks to have them finding it on me and taking it away, for that reason I give it to you to take care of it," he said. "Naruto-kun. Don't worry Hinata-chan, I will come back to you. Remember that you promised me a date when we return to Konoha," he said with a foxy grin. The date? She completely forgot about it. Hinata looked at the clone with a resolute face. Alright. I will find the others, don't worry Naruto, we will help you really soon," she said. "That's the way, Hinata-chan," exclaimed the clone, happy to see that Hinata felt better. "Yes, our ninja way. I know that technically you are not the real Naruto, but you are part of him, so in reality you're Naruto. You know what I mean, so I'm going to talk to you like you were the real one," said Hinata. The clone nodded. "Naruto-kun, please take care. I love you and I can't imagine to lose you now that we are finally couple," she said, embracing him. "I love you too Hinata-chan. I can't wait until we are together again," whispered the clone while his face got closer to her. Their lips met. They broke the embrace, said farewell to each other, and the clone dispelled himself. On the Mist Ninja's way back towards their base, the real Naruto felt the memories from his clone. "We will be together again, my Hinata-chan. It's the promise of a lifetime." Naruto was on a dungeon of Doto's castle that he provided for the Mist Ninjas. He was not alone. Before him stood Ao, Raiga, Reika, who was doing his best to stand, a boy older than named Utakata, another boy almost his age named Chojiro, a woman who seemed a mixture of Tsunade, Anko and his own mother named Mei, and finally the ruler of Mist, the Mizukage himself. On a table there were his combat kunais, his ninja tools and his scrolls. The Mizukage didn't seem to be satisfied with his subordinates. "So let me recall. Instead of attacking together the Konoha kids I ordered you to capture, Reika fought them alone because they accused you of cowardice," he said in a calm tone. Raiga and Ao nodded. "Not only you and your comrades fell on that obvious trap, Reika, but also they managed to lure you into another trap where they almost freezed you, forcing you to use the special properties of your sword," continued the Mizukage, still keeping his cool. Reika nodded with a gulp while he struggled to don't fall to the ground, "But they managed to escape from your shurikens and perform a special attack that left you in this state. If Raiga didn't intervene they would have killed you," Reika pointed the Mizukage. "It was a lucky strike. They caught me off guard," protested Reika. "Yes, because they distracted you turning your own technique against your comrades," pointed the Mizukage. Nobody said anything, and then, the straw that breaks the camel. "It happens that the girl you brought here was in reality a Cage Bunshine. This is great, just great. The girl will spread word about this and turn our village into the laughing stuff of the elemental nations," commented Hijagura. "Hey, Hinata is not a babbler," protested Naruto. Everyone looked at him. "I must learn to be quiet," he thought with a sweat drop. "Hinata? Hyuga Hinata? So your partner is the Hyuga heiress. What's your name, by the way?" asked Ao. Naruto reminded a lesson from Iruka. It said that the only information that Konohans were allowed to tell the enemy in case they were captured was their name and rank. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki, I'm a Genin of Konoha," he said in neutral tone. "And the future Hokage," he exclaimed. "He is louder than the pink-haired girl that Doto's men captured," commented Utakata. "Pink-haired girl?" asked Naruto. "Yes, the Princess Koyuki who they captured happened to be the pink-haired girl from your group under a hedge. She is now his prisoner," commented Raiga. "What? Sakura also tricked them? Well, at least the real princess is safe and it will be easier to escape with Sakura than with the princess. Sakura has useful skills," thought Naruto. "Wait a minute, did you say that you are an Uzumaki? The main clan from the former Whirlpool country?" asked Ao. "And what if I am?" responded Naruto in a challenging tone. Chojiro suspected something and decided to talk. "Are you Arashi and Kushina Uzumaki-san?" he asked. "Yes, they are my parents," said Naruto. Many of the present ninjas looked worried, minus the Mizukage who seemed to be immersed on his thoughts, and Raiga. "What's going on with this kid's parents?" asked Raiga. "The boy's father, Arashi Uzumaki, is the Black Angel, the man who convinced Zabuza to join Konoha. He is a S-class ninja with extreme high ninjutsu and fuinjutsu. The mother, Kushina Uzumaki, is known as the Crimson Death. She is also very good in those fields. It is estimated that she is in a similar level as Tsunade Senju. They are part of a group known as the Hand of Death, formed by some of Konoha's strongest ninjas, including Zabuza. Said Ao. Why we didn't hear about that Arashi before? S-class ninjas don't appear spontaneously, commented Raiga. It looks like he was an unofficial ninja under the Yondaime Hokage's personal command and stood inactive for several years, responded Ao. Of course. Why I didn't realize it before? Exclaimed the Mizukage, interrupting the conversation while he got at Naruto's side. What are you doing? If you try to do something weird I'll tear apart your face by bites, exclaimed the boy. The Mizukage ignored the threats. There's no doubt, your father must be descendant of his grandchildren, commented Yagura while he unsealed a scroll. Whose grandchildren? Asked Naruto, puzzled. The Sage of the Six Paths' unknown grandchildren, of course, responded Yagura. Nani? As you probably know, the Sage of the Six Paths had two children. The eldest son inherited the sage's eyes while the younger one inherited his body. Take a look at the scroll. Here's the only known portrait of the second son, said Yagura. Everyone gasped at the portrait. Naruto was speechless. The man portrayed there was his own image. The only differences were that the second son was several years older than him and had red hair and violet-gray eyes, exactly the same as his mother's. That's how he would have looked in a few years if he inherited those traits from his mother. If it was disturbing also was the fact that the second son also had 6 whisker marks on his cheeks and a note mentioning that the son inherited said marks from the sage himself. Surprised, Naruto Uzumaki? You shouldn't be, he's your ancestor after all. It is only logical your resemblance considering that you are the most similar to him from the genetical point of view in centuries, said Yagura. How is it possible? And why do you know so much about my family? Demanded Naruto. All villages have their advantages over the others. Among other things, Kiri has the best documented archives about history since the times of the sage, including genealogy and heraldry. We also had the best researchers in said fields, but we are not talking about them. We are talking about your heritage. Your ancestor, the second son, had 2 children. According to the archives, the eldest became the heir, founded the Whirlpool country and started the Uzumaki clan. He inherited from his father his knowledge in Funjutsu and his great vitality, that derived in a special chakra. The second children disappeared in the shadows. It looks like that he also inherited a vast knowledge in Funjutsu and inherited his father's body, what seemed to be an improved healing ability, said Yagura while looking at Naruto's eyes. Naruto paled. How could that be possible? He had to mention that to his parents as soon as he could. Yes, we also know about your blood limit. Konoha loves to brag about the special traits of its citizens, said Yagura. Why are you so interested about the second son? Asked Naruto, now completely sure that he started his father's clan. Well, it looks like that son decided to keep himself and his family in anonymity for a very good reason. According to the archives, they held the secret of eternal life. Nothing wild if we take account that his brother's family was known for their extremely long lifespans, said Yagura. The Mist Nins began to whisper among themselves. Eternal life? That's not possible. Why not? That man descended from the sage, somebody able to resurrect the dead. Years ago I wouldn't have believed, but after the Sandaime Mizukage's resurrection I don't know what to believe. Does it mean that this boy knows the secret? Naruto was at the verge of a panic attack. Damn it. They are aware of the secret. We can use our blood to share the benefits of our blood limit with others. Dad said that persons who receive periodic donations of our blood wouldn't age at all and even would get younger if he or she received enough blood. The only thing that they don't know is that the secret is in our blood itself, thought Naruto, horrified. What nonsense are you talking about? We don't have any secret of immortality. If you want to get it from me you got the wrong person, said Naruto. Perhaps, but that's the thing that would say somebody who would have the secret. I bet that your father will be willingly to give it to us, said Yagura. And why he would give it to you if he had it? Replied Naruto. It would be a good compensation after what you and your girlfriend did to Reika, responded Yagura. What did they do me? Asked Reika, puzzled. Ow, explain to him what you saw with your Byakugan, ordered Yagura. The veteran ninja looked doubtfully at this comrade, not sure about how he would take it. Reika. I don't know how to tell it to you, but it looks like your tenketsus are permanently damaged. That attack was more devastating than we thought at first, said Ao. What does it mean? Asked Reika. What I'm trying to tell you is that you won't be able to use chakra anymore. Forget about ninjutsu, genjutsu and chakra-based techniques. You only have your kenjutsu, taijutsu and those ninja skills that don't use chakra, said Ao. What? Hey boy! Tell me that there's a way to fix what you did to me, tell me, exclaimed Reika. Naruto looked away, unable to respond anything. Reika fell to his knees. My ninja career, he babbled. The mist ninjas didn't say anything, but some of them sent accusing glares to Naruto that reminded him the ones that Konoha villagers gave him when he was younger. But unlike the villagers' glares, these ones were several times more painful because this time he was really responsible of what he was accused. The only one who seemed impassible was the Mizukage, who took Reika's sword and looked at him. Reika, you are the main responsible of your current state because you underestimated this boy and his partner. Your arrogance not only damaged you but also Mist's reputation. As Mizukage, I demand you to commit seppuku, only blood can wash that stain, said Yagura. Without saying anything, Reika took the sword and leaned it on his gut. Wait. Don't do it. Just because you can't use chakra it doesn't mean that your ninja career is over. I have a friend with a similar problem who managed to become an excellent ninja just with taijutsu and ninjutsu, exclaimed Naruto. He is right, Reika-senpai. Having only taijutsu and kenjutsu means that you can focus solely on them and become one of the best swordsmen ever, agreed Chojuro. The boys' protests didn't work. They looked horrified how Reika pierced his gut with his own sword and began to rake it. Sorry kids, but Mizukage-sama is right, I stained Mist's honor and I have to restore it, babbled Reika while a drop of blood fell from his mouth. He looked at Naruto. Hey boy. Promise me something, he said. What do you want? Asked Naruto in shock. Promise me that you will become Hokage. This way people will remember me as one of the powerful opponents that you faced in your path to Hokage instead of the swordsman of the mist who was crippled by a pair of genins, said Reika. I promise. And I never get back on my word, said Naruto. Reika smiled. Oh. And tell your father that he is very lucky for having such a beauty as his wife and such a powerful son like you. With those last words Reika, proud swordsman of the mist, died. Reika-senpai. No, screamed Chojuro in tears. Naruto knew that he shouldn't let his enemies see him crying, but it didn't prevent a single tear to fall from one of his eyes. One by one, the mist ninjas bowed before Reika's corpse as sign of respect, with Raiga being the most tearful. Then, to everyone's shock, Yagura extracted the sword and tossed the body like it was garbage. Bastard! Why did you do it? Exclaimed Naruto in fury. Many of the presents were also furious by Yagura's lack of respect, but they didn't say anything. He outlived his usefulness. We ninjas are tools, once we are no longer useful we are discarded, this is how the world works, responded the Mizukage. I'm going to change that, exclaimed Naruto. I doubt it. It would be like asking the sun to rise from west. Anyways, we will continue your interrogation later. Now I'm going to summon the new swordsman of the mist and prepare for an imminent. I have the impression that we will hear about your friends from Konoha and the Hand of Death in particular very soon. Everyone, come with me, ordered the Mizukage while he left the room. The mist nins followed the Mizukage without saying a word. Naruto noticed the look of utter hate that the woman sent to Yagura for a brief second. Next day, unlike many people could think, Minato didn't have the monopoly of using summoning seals for teleporting. The differences were that Minato's seals were smaller and that he didn't need anybody to activate the seal at the wished place. The Mizukage always wore with him a scroll that let him summon some of his stronger ninjas if needed. Yagura proved to not being overzealous when he decided to call for the new swordsman of the mist. Konoha and Snow Country's forces effectuated their first attack next morning, choosing one of Dota's main bases, one that was at the end of a railway. With the advantages of the chakra armor that some of them had in the ice-based jutsus, snow ninjas were better than average ninjas, but their opponents were elites, not average ones. With the order of never engage enemies alone, Sasuke, Lee, Neji and Tenten were assisting the older Konoha ninjas in the battles, fighting at their side. The boys were having a little competition to see who defeated more opponents. Neji. I just defeated 5 opponents, exclaimed Lee. This is my 7th, replied Neji while he knocked a snow ninja. My count is 9, said Sasuke. Then I have to defeat 10 more. And if cannot, then I will defeat 20 enemies more with a hand tied on my back, exclaimed Lee. Tenten for her part was flying on Minato's arms, throwing kunais with his enhanced explosive tags with deadly precision. She sighed when she looked at her fellow genins. Boys, always competing with each other, I should tell them that I already knocked 15 ninjas, she thought. Kakashi was fighting the enemy holding a tanto that gave off a white streak of chakra. That weapon was known as the Hako Chakra or 2, White Light Chakra Saber, Hotake Sakuma's weapon, the one that gave him the nickname of White Fang. Kakashi decided to not repair and wield the sword after it was broken during the mission where Obito died, but after his sensei helped him to reconcile with his father's memory he changed his mind and got the sword repaired. Minato and Kushina added a seal that increased the blade's sharpness and durability, making it more lethal than ever. Perhaps because he couldn't protect properly his students, because the hand of death had to come there to help on his mission, or both things, Hayate happened to be one of the most fearsome fighters. Snow Ninja's weapons were no match for the quick and shocking attacks from his Raijin. Not bad. With the Raijin he could have competed with Amayuri holding the Raito, Thunder Swords. If he was born in Kira he would have been part of the swordsmen, thought Zabuza when he looked at Hayate's performance. The sick-looking sensei was not the only one who got Zabuza's attention. Since Minato returned and broke the monopoly that Asuma had on the use of wind chakra through blades, the Sun Daime's son trained very hard to improve his kenjutsu and manipulation of wind chakra. Now when he increased length of the blades of his knuckle knives he could make them as long as Zabuza's sword and sharper than ever. Another one that would have been a great swordsman. Well, this one doesn't surprise me, he is one of the guardians of fire and a child of the Sun Daime Hokage. I'll better show them the power of a true swordsman of the mist. This is a good chance to test my new tricks, thought Zabuza while he handled his Kubi Karabocho, Executioner's blade. Snow Ninjas didn't see him coming. Some of them tried to use ice jutsus against him, but he countered them with the ice chakra from his own sword, shocking them. The first addition that Minato made on Zabuza's sword was a two-part seal that could transform Zabuza's chakra into ice chakra. If Zabuza activated only one part of the seal it transformed his chakra into water or wind chakra. Now that the seal could make part of the transformation for him, Zabuza's performance when he channeled water chakra to improve his swordsmanship was significantly better than before. And when he used the wind part he was no longer at disadvantage when facing wind or lighting opponents who also focused chakra canalization through their weapons, as happened during his encounter with Minato. The second addition was a seal on the handle that Minato created with Kushina's help. That seal created a special link between Zabuza and his sword that prevented anyone else to handle the sword without getting his hand impaled by ice shards at near zero temperatures. The seal also let Zabuza summon his sword at will and seal it within himself when he was not using it. The former demon of the mist was practically one with his sword. Now, with the combination of the new powers in the old one that gave the sword the property to regenerate itself from its victims, Kubi Karabocho could be considered one of the most powerful weapon in the elemental nations, only rivaled by Saimata. Hiyashi, Shizune and Kurenai were assisting Sandai's forces against Dota's regular troops who were not ninja. Unlike the case's ninjutsu techniques, that could be avoided if you were agile enough, or taijutsu skills, that could be countered to a point with regular fighting styles, those not trained in chakra were completely defenseless against genjutsu. Kurenai just needed to use her weaker illusions to have her enemies completely disabled. Something similar happened with Shizune, the combatants couldn't do anything against her poisons. Hiyashi for his part, defeated his opponents with single hits while he complained about how weak they were. The truth was that he was scared to death, but not for him but for his daughter. The memories of the day when the Kumo ninja tried to kidnap Minato were resurfacing on his mind, especially how the event ended with his brother's death and Konoha taking the blame in the name of peace. That won't happen again. My family won't pay any price just because some bastards want our eyes for themselves. If it starts a war then I will welcome it with open arms, he thought. The door of the base opened and a train emerged from it, forcing everyone to leave the railways. At one of the wagons stood Doto himself pointing at the rebels with a strange machine. No. That's the kunai throwing machine that Kushina warned us about. If we don't do something Doto will end killing most the rebels, thought Shizune. Prepare to die pigs, exclaimed Doto preparing his makinge. Then, two couples of Kushina's clones appeared and charged towards the train holding immense balls of chakra. Take this. Double Odama Rasengan, exclaimed the clones slamming the spheres on the first wagon. The impact was terrible, everybody else interrupted their battles for a moment to see how the train went off the rails. I think I overdid a little, thought the real Kushina while she looked at the area trying to find Doto. It was the last straw for many of the snow forces, who began to flee horrified by the power displayed by the enemy. They are not human. I'm not paid enough for this. Only a small group of snow ninjas remained, too stubborn to give up. That's enough, Konoha ninjas. Surrender Zabuza and leave this country or we will be forced to stop you, exclaimed a voice. The Konoha ninjas looked at the source of the voice. There stood Mei, Ao, Raiga, Chojuro, Utakata and three new ninjas with weapons that Zabuza recognized. Those are Kabutori, Helmet Splitter, Nuabari, Sewing Needle, and Shibuki, Splash. The guys holding them are relatives of my former swordsman comrades. I'm surprised that the Suigetsu brat is not one of them. If we add the Raito, thunder swords, held now by that Raiga clown, the Harankare, twin swords, held by the Chojuro brat and my Kubi Karabocho, executioner's blade, it happens that we have almost all the great swords of the mist, with the only absence of Samata, shark skin, thought Zabuza. We are the ones who should be making threats. Where are the genins that you captured? Handle them back us immediately or we will crush you, threatened Kushina to the mist ninjas. The genins who we captured were attacking our ally Dodo and one of them is Zabuza's accomplice. Are you aware that you are giving asylum to a wanted criminal in Kiri? Sadao. Wanted criminal my balls, exclaimed Zabuza. You tried to assassinate the Mizukage and the rest of the swordsmen followed your example, this labels you as a traitor, said Raiga. Yagura is the one who betrayed Kiri. First with the blood limit purges and then having Fuki Suikazan accused of leaking information to enemies and killed by Kisame because he found out his secret, argued Zabuza. What are you talking about Zabuza-senpai? Asked Chojuro. Don't call him senpai, said Ao elbowing him. Fuki found out that Yagura was under the control of a missing nin. Recently I found that said is Madara Uchiha. He is the one behind the blood purges and some of Mist's most questionable ways, explained Zabuza. Madara Uchiha. Really you think that we are going to believe that he is still alive after all these decades? It is just a lie you invented to justify your coup, exclaimed Raiga. I don't care if you believe me or not, Raiga. You are still angry at me because you couldn't join the swordsmen until most of us died and you got Ringo's swords. Where's Reika, by the way? I heard that he was admitted after he became the first one to master the shuriken blade in years, said Zabuza. Shuriken blade? Asked Asuma. It's an 8th sword created to work as replacement in case any of the other ones got lost and destroyed, explained Zabuza. Do you want to know what happened with Reika? Exclaimed one of the new swordsmen, the one with the new Ibari. He is dead thanks to the infernal Uzumaki brat and the Hyuga bitch. How you dare to insult my daughter? I'm going to kill you, exclaimed Hiyashi with the Byakugan activated. Shit. It's the Hyuga clan head, thought thou. Where's Naruto? Roared Kushina while her hair moved wildly. He is Mist's prisoner and will be severely punished for what he did. I can't wait to break him, said another of the new swordsmen, the one with the Kabutori. Before anybody could do anything, said Ninja's skull was pierced by a pair of kunais impulsed by the Uzumaki's acceleration tags. Everybody felt the killing intent coming from Naruto's parents. Nobody threats our son, exclaimed Minato and Kushina at the same time while charging, with the rest of Konoha ninjas following in tow. What came next was one of the most fierce battles seen since the last ninja war. The non-ninjas realized that they have no chance to survive and stepped aside. After the initial surprise the mist ninjas managed to make a counterattack and proved to be competent ninjas. However the current generation of swordsmen were not at the same level as the previous one and they lacked the teamwork that had the more experienced hand of death. The non-swordsmen mist ninjas did their best to assist their comrades, but they began to realize that at this pace they would lose. Utakata looked how Kakashi caught Raiga by surprise with a spear made of lighting that pierced his shoulder. The young ninja didn't know that since the Hand of Death was formed Kakashi has been working to create new iterations of the Chidori. He felt very ashamed when Kushina told him that Sasuke's future self created new versions of the Chidori while his own future self didn't do anything to improve it. After months of training and hard work Kakashi managed to recreate most lighting jutsus that Sasuke's future self created using only the brief descriptions from the time travelers. The attack that pierced Raiga's shoulder was the Chidori Izo, Chidori Sharp Spear, less powerful than Chidori but with a very long range. None of this mattered to Raiga or Utakata, who saw how the former was killed by Sasuke using a regular Chidori on his chest. Raiga too. I have no choice but to use it. My sensei said that I shouldn't rely on my tenant but the seal that Mizukage-sama added on my own increased my control over the creature to a similar level as him, thought Utakata while he concentrated his chakra on the added seal. Everyone felt the powerful chakra that surfaced from Utakata and the 6 chakra tails that appeared around him. It's the 6 tails. That boy is another Jinchuriki. If we didn't have enough with the Sanbi, thought Hayate. Utakata was intoxicated by his Baiju's power. I never felt so alive. Why my sensei was so adamant about me not relying on this power. With it I can wipe our enemies and... Eh? What's going on? Something is bad with my seal. What? The new seal is destroying it. I have to revert the transformation, thought Utakata. However his efforts were in vain. Yagura's seal dissolved the seal that made Utakata a Jinchuriki and kept him safe. None of the presents would never forget the Jinchuriki's scream. Sensei, Forgive me. I should have listened to you. Trusted you more, were his final thoughts. But there was no time to mourn for his death. The Rakubi, the six-tailed slug, was free again. Utakata was intoxicated by his Baiju's power. I never felt so alive. Why my sensei was so adamant about me not relying on this power. With it I can wipe our enemies' end. Eh? What's going on? Something is bad with my seal. What? The new seal is destroying it. I have to revert the transformation, thought Utakata. However, his efforts were in vain. Yagura's seal dissolved the seal that made Utakata a Jinchuriki and kept him safe. Erg. None of the presents would never forget the Jinchuriki's scream. Sensei, forgive me. I should have listened to you. Trusted you more, were his final thoughts. But there was no time to mourn for his death. The Rakubi, the six-tailed slug, was free. Everyone stopped their fights to look at the beast. What happened? The Ondame's seal, instead of improving the control of Utakata over his beast, killed him and unleashed the Rakubi, thought Ao, horrified. Hizashi. The only thing that prevented Ao to be hit from the attack was the enhanced vision of his Byakugan that warned him about the attack from the Hyuga clan head. Don't dare to ignore me, thief. You have something that belongs to my clan and you will give it back, exclaimed Hiyashi. Please, listen to me. We don't have time for that dispute. That beast is unleashed. We Konoha and Miss Ninjas have to join forces against it if we want to have a chance of survival against its power, reasoned Ao. His words were responded by a Juken strike to the gut. Don't you understand? That creature will kill us all, said Ao while he tried to fight back Hiyashi. No, you're the one who doesn't understand. Really, you think that we would be there without a way to fight a Baiju knowing that you used the Sanbi against us before? Our squad have members who subdued stronger Baijus than that overlimed slug, said Hiyashi. Just at that time the Uzumakis made their move. Suten, Suryudan no Jutsu, water release, water dragon bullet technique, exclaimed Kushina. Futon, Kazuryu no Jutsu, wind release, wind dragon technique, exclaimed Minato. The contenders looked how a pair of dragons arose over the Rakubi. One was a mass of water while the other was a spinning tornado. The dragons merged, forming an enormous water whirlwind, also with the shape of a dragon. Whirlpool dragon, exclaimed Minato and Kushina at the same time while the jutsu impacted on the Rakubi, knocking the creature. Kushina's water dragons mix better than mine with Minato-sensei's wind ones. The whirlpool dragon they make is really fearsome. Their link gives them the best teamwork I ever seen, thought Kakashi. The couple looked at the beast while it got up. The attack barely damaged the slug. I never imagined that poor Utakata was the Rakubi Jinchuriki. Who put on him that seal, the seal that unleashed the Baijuo, killing him? Thought Kushina. I bet that the main responsible is Madara. He has been manipulating Karagakura for decades and Yagura has been his puppet for years. We will mourn for Utakata later. We have to stop and capture the Rakubi, said Minato. She nodded. Yes. It is time to show my true power, responded Kushina. Kushina's hair waved while chakra tendrils that looked like enormous spiked chains appeared on her back. Get ready, slime. You are going to feel the power of my chakra chains, she exclaimed. Sasuke, who was defeating a snow ninja combining his fire with jutsus with Pichi's wind one, looked surprised at Kushina's technique. What kind of jutsu is that? He asked. The elders of the cats told me that the Uzumaki clan had a special chakra that could be used on special ways and let them submit tailed beast, like the Shodai Hokage did with his Makuten. Kushina-san's technique must be a blood limit thing, said Pichi. No, it is not a blood limit, said Kakashi appearing at their side. Then what it is? Asked Sasuke. Blood limits are born powers, and user could have access to them without a specific training. Kushina-san's chakra chains are a special jutsu exclusive from her clan, only those with the Uzumaki chakra can use. It is the same as the Naru's shadow jutsus or the Akimichi body expansion techniques, only they can learn them. The difference that those techniques have with blood limits are that they have to be learned like regular jutsus, said Kakashi. So, those clan techniques are something between regular jutsus and blood limits, don't they? Realized Sasuke. Kakashi nodded. Yes, for that reason the first clans that joined Konoha after his foundation are clans with that type of jutsus. They were the only ones that were not afraid of having their jutsus copied by the Sharingan, said Kakashi. So Naruto not only inherits a real bloodline from his father but also will learn techniques to subdue Baijuas. And to think that he was just a familyless orphan almost 2 years ago, thought the Uchiha. The majority of the enemy forces fled at the vision of the Baiju, only mist forces remained, but they decided to stop fighting until the fight between the Rakubi and the Uzumakis ended. The only fight that continued was the one between a furious Hiyashi and Ao, who was doing his best to defend himself. The Rakubi began to gather chakra on his mouth. Those who were present during the Kyuubi's attack recognized what the monster was about to do. Crap. The Rakubi is going to use the Baiju Udama, tailed beast ball, thought Kakashi. The chakra took the shape of a sphere and the slug swallowed it. Everyone drop out, exclaimed Asuma. Fuss. The energy ray went towards Kushina, who ignored it while she kept adding more chakra chains to immobilize. Just when the ray was about to hit her, Minato appeared with a three-pronged kunai in hand. Jiku Kenkekai, space-time barrier, thought Minato. Those who didn't know about Minato's secret looked speechless while the chakra ray disappeared before him. The power of that beast eye is incredible. And Arashi-sensei is redirecting it. But where? Thought Sasuke. The response came immediately. Like the wrath of an angry god, the chakra ray appeared over the slug itself. The creature tried to dodge the attack but Kushina's chains didn't let it move. Boom. The impact was terrible. Those who didn't follow Asuma's warning were now knocked. Steam from the vaporish snow covered the area. When the smoke dispelled, everyone could see the Rakubi completely unconscious and wrapped by Kushina's chains. Impressive. Minato-sensei used his Jiku Kenkekai to redirect the Rakubi's attack against itself. The poor beast never had a chance against he and Kushina's combined jutsus, thought Kakashi. The couple looked at the fallen form of the Rakubi. Luckily it was just a mindless beast. Things would have been very different if there was somebody controlling it, commented Kushina. Now we have decided what to do with it, said Minato. At other place Sakura was not known for being the bravest kunoichi, but she was not a coward neither. Dota told his men to interrogate her, but none of them was an interrogation specialist. Snow Country only had a small ninja force if it was compared to a ninja village. It lacked the diversification of villages like Konoha or Kumo. At first the snow ninjas tried to make her talk using their killing intent and threatening to hurt her, but it didn't work as expected. The training sessions with the Hand of Death gave all members from the Konoha 15 a moderate resistance to killing intent and taught them to control themselves in stressful situations and control their fear. Compared to what Zabuza-san does to us, these guys are as threatening as first-year academy students, thought Sakura. After several unsuccessful tries to scare her, Dota looked at her. Well Pinky, it looks like you have more guts than your appearance suggests. It looks like you are not useful to me, said while he got near her kunai. What are you doing? Don't dare to get close to me. If you touch me I'll kill you, exclaimed Sakura. Ignoring Sakura's threats, Dota grabbed Sakura by the hair and raised his kunai. Sasuke-kun. I'm sorry, thought Sakura while she closed her eyes waiting for the killing strike. Sakura opened her eyes, wondering herself why she was not feeling pain. She saw Dota holding a small lock of pink hair. You are lucky that I have other business to attend, girl. This is just a warning, when I come back I cut something else than your hair. You are not afraid of us and I don't know if you are afraid of death. But there's something I'm completely sure, you are afraid of pain, and that's what you will get next time we will visit. I would suggest you to enjoy the last hours you will spend with your body intact, said Dota while he and his men left the room, leaving Sakura tied. The following hours were a torment for Sakura. She never was so scared. She reminded what Tsunade-sensei and Kurenai-sensei told her about the wars where they fought, that the worst part of a battle was not the battle itself but the moments just before, and how Ino commented that interrogators like her father left their prisoners waiting for hours and letting the prisoner's mind wander free to guess several torture methods. The prisoner's own imagination was considered by Konoha interrogation specialist as one of their most useful tools. Her thoughts were interrupted when the door opened and someone got in. Sakura's heart stopped. Then she noticed who was the person. Sakura-chan, are you alright? Asked Haku. Haku-kun, exclaimed Sakura relieved, you managed to escape. You don't know how happy I am to see you. The boy proceeded to untie Sakura and used his bloodline to disable the chakra absorption device that Dota put on Sakura. In reality I didn't escape from my own, I had some help. Not all our enemies are what they appear to be, explained Haku. What do you mean? She asked. This is what happened. Flashback: several hours passed since Haku woke up and found himself chained in a dungeon and greeted by the presence of Yagura and several high-ranking mist ninjas, including Mei and Lao. And then came the pain. Without any word, the Mizukage began to beat him senseless for several minutes. The other ninjas just watched the beating without saying a word. This is just peace to what I'm going to do to that traitorous rat you call master when I lay my hands on him, said the cage. Don't dare to insult Zabuza-sama. He is better ninja than you ever be, exclaimed Haku. Threat me as much as what? Let's see if you are so brave after we kill Zabuza and we take you back to Mist. Don't worry, we won't execute you. You'll be kept in prison for the rest of your life while we use your ADN to give that power of yours to ninjas who really deserve it," said Yagura before knocking Haku unconscious. When the boy woke up he noticed that someone was releasing his shackles. "You are awake? Excellent, if you can walk by yourself you will spare me a lot of trouble. Here are the keys for the cells where the rest of your Konoha comrades are," said a feminine voice. Now fully conscious, Haku recognized the person who was helping him. "Ma? Why are you helping me?" asked Haku while he rubbed his wrists. The woman responded with a phrase. "I want to protect a place important to me," she said. "I want to work for that place. I want to fight for that place," continued Haku, recognizing the phrase. "I want to make the dreams of the people from that place come true." "That's my dream," finished May. "I want to protect a place important to me. I want to work for that place. I want to fight for that place. I want to make the dreams of the people from that place come true. That's my dream." It was one of the motto of Mist's rebel forces. Only those who were really compromised with the cause knew about it. "Mei-san, are you one of the rebel leaders?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes, are you surprised? After the failed coup we realized that we couldn't fight Yagura directly. I have been doing my best to gain the trust of Yagura and his followers. It has not been a primrose path. Sometimes I would have wished to be a missing ninja and send the profits of my missions to support the rebellion as Zabuza you," commented May. "A missing nin's life is neither an easy one. You have to watch your back every day for hunter nins and you don't have the guarantee that your employer will pay for your work without being backstabbed," commented Haku while he healed himself. "Not very different than the fear of being exposed as part of the rebels," commented May. "Besides, Zabuza and you are now working for another village. If it was not for the funds that you were sending us we would have believed that you abandoned the cause. I just hope that life in Konoha didn't soften you. Don't worry about that. Zabuza and I are stronger than ever. You can't believe the training that we got there," said Haku while he finished to heal his wounds. "I already see it. Those comrades of yours gave us a lot of trouble. Konoha's peace-loving ways don't make them weaker than other villages. That's one of the reasons Mist needs to change," said May. "Mei-san, you mentioned that 2 of my Konoha were captured, don't you?" asked Haku. "Yes, one is a pink-haired girl named Sakura and the other is a blonde boy named Naruto. The keys have the number of their respective cells. You'll have to save them yourself. I can get the risk to be seen with you during your break," said May. "Thank you very much for your help, Mei-san. You took a great risk for me," said Haku. The kunoichi looked at him with mischievous smile. "Just tell Mr. February that he owes me one and that I'm going to get it one of these days," she said with a wink. End flashback. So May is Yagura's enemy? It is a surprise. "Wait, you told me that they also captured Naruto?" asked Sakura. "Yes, but I found his cell already empty. It looks like he got free by his own," said Haku. "Then it would be better if we get out of here and find the others," said Sakura. "Agree, Naruto is one of the most resourceful persons I know. I wouldn't be surprised if he is already in a safer position than us," said Haku. The young medics didn't know how wrong they were. With Naruto there are some speculations about what would have happened if the Naruto of the original timeline didn't graduate at Konoha's academy. The most plausible was that he would have enlisted for another year until he finally graduated because he wouldn't give up his dream to become Hokage. Besides, he wouldn't have any other choices. Nobody in Konoha would have wanted to hire him, and because of his Jinchuriki status he would have been forced to stay at the village without the chance to start a new life in a place where he wouldn't be hated. Without the chance to take an honest job and his ninja training, that version of Naruto probably would have become a thief. And a very good one. His stealth, deception and infiltration skill were several times above his peers. That Naruto painted the Hokage monument at daylight, he infiltrated into the Hokage tower, stole the forbidden scroll and escaped from the ninjas chasing him for enough time to learn Kage Bunshin. That Naruto managed to ambush and capture the Sasuke of the timeline, the #1 student of his graduation class, and tricked the alternate Sakura in spite of her observational skills. That weaker Naruto could escape from Doto's base with little problem. So nobody should be surprised that the stronger, wiser, smarter and more skilled Naruto of the current timeline did the same and was now wandering by Doto's base looking for Haku and Sakura after retrieving his equipment and Reika's sword, that was abandoned in a corner. "Where are my friends? Did the Mist Ninjas take them to another building?" he thought. Crash. Boom. Several noises coming from outside took him away from his thoughts. "It sounds like there is a battle outside, perhaps Konoha sent reinforcements. If it is so I must find Haku and Sakura as soon as possible. Our enemies could use them as hostages," he thought. "Where do you think you are going?" asked a familiar voice from behind. Naruto turned and saw Yagura looking at him with his arms crossed and an annoyed expression. Let me guess, you let yourself get captured so you could go escape and save your capture friend, don't you? Said Yagura in a neutral tone. Naruto cursed his luck in a very flowery way. Shit, shit, shit and 1,000 times shit, he thought, he found me. I'll better keep up with his game while I think for an escape plan. Yes, it was, there's no point denying it, said Naruto. A smile formed in Yagura's face. I'm lucky to find you before you leave. I came here to introduce you to a very special person. He says that he was one of the first persons you met but you were too young to remember him, said Yagura. Who are you talking about? Asked Naruto puzzled. He will be there in a moment. I'm sorry but I won't be able to attend the meeting. Akatsuki's special possession technique requires a host to work, said Yagura while his body began to have convulsions and transform. Akatsuki, thought Naruto. The young Jinchuriki looked horrified how the Mizukage changed. His uniform disappeared leaving place to the black cloak with red clouds he learned to hate. But it was not the Akatsuki uniform what shocked Naruto, it was the face that replaced Yagura. A face with an orange spiral mask and a single eye hole. It's been a while since the last time we meet. It was the day of your birth, Naruto. Will you be a good boy and surrender to me without protest or should I use some persuasion? It doesn't matter, you will come with me you like it or not, said Uchiha Madara. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.